Hey, what's up, guys? This is Dr. Michael Coe, physical therapist from MovementIQMike.com. And I'm going to talk about the OT trainer and go over some of the exercises you'll actually see from Boss Rutan's either Facebook page or even on his website. So he talks about two separate exercises to do while using this. He talks about doing 30 reps, and what it is going to be two things. It's either going to be breathing in as you go from this bend forward position to being upright. I'll show you right here. It'll be or then the second exercise is going to be the opposite. You're going to be breathing in while moving forward from upright position. Look like this. Now, the reason why for those is going to be just trying to accentuate different parts of the ribcage to be able to open up. If you're going from bend forward, breathing in, you get a little more expansion of the ribs, especially in the front. But also, if you go from upright to bend forward, you're actually getting more expansion of the ribs in the back, which I would also into a couple things that I would probably look out to try and do if you do these exercises. So one is you got to think about what is going on with the righting reflex. So the righting reflex is when your inner ear is working properly, you have this gyroscope in your ear and you always know where gravity is, where the bottom is, right? Or the floor is. So if you ever look at a kid or a baby, right, you'll know the righting reflex is pretty good, is because if they tend to sit and they're about to go over and they seem to fall over, what they'll do is they'll post their arm and then usually their head will stay upright. The head doesn't go down to the side. The head knows that it needs to be upright. I mean, it's the same reason why if a cat were to jump off a tree or something like that, they always land on their feet because their righting reflexes always know where the ground is or where gravity is, right? So in this position, in this exercise, the righting reflex actually might hinder us, right? And so the reason why is that what I want to see is that your head and neck are in the same position, stay the same position as you go forward. What's going to happen is as you move forward, you actually might gaze your eyes on something or fixate your eyes on something, and you'll keep your eyes on there. And then it'll change the head position as you move from one position to another. All right, so if I were to show you what's wrong, it would be something like this. If I were to go from this forward, this position and going forward, you see I fixated my eyes forward in front here. We just are naturally tend to do that. It's just part of our nature. So what I want you to do is I want you to not do that. So if we're doing it from here, you actually might start with your head forward. Is that starting position here. Now the reason why I don't think it's a good idea is that if your head is looking forward, right, instead of down to the ground when your body is lean forward, what's going to happen is that your head, by lifting up, you're really going to overactivate the paraspinal muscles through the cervical spine, thoracic spine, and even the lumbar spine. So what will happen is you'll get this overactivation of all those muscles. Those backstrap muscles will be so active and so, in a way, guarded. Those muscles lay over where the ribs attach to the thoracic spine. So if those muscles are too active, the attachment point of those rib heads for them to move are not going to move anymore. So you're actually going to get limited thoracic mobility, limited rib mobility, and you can't really breathe in, get that rib cage expansion, get the diaphragm to activate, right? You can't activate your diaphragm unless the ribs move with it. But if you overactivate those muscles in the back, you're not going to get very much rib movement, so you'll actually hinder how to be able to use. So I want you to think about your head and your chest are pointed the same direction, and they follow each other as you do that exercise. Now here's another thing too, is that as you go into this forward position, right, what will happen is, depending on what muscle groups are going to be active, you might again overactivate those backstrap muscles. So if I were to go forward here, and I could easily maybe activate my back muscles, arch a little bit, but the way you can counteract that, because of the same reason, if they're too active, you're not going to get rib expansion, is what I want you to think about is when you move forward, you're going to shift your weight from your butt to your feet. If you shift your weight to your butt to your feet, if you don't activate your legs, then you're going to fall forward. But if you activate your legs, you get a little more of a deep core response, a little bit of abdominal response, which will help keep the trunk stable instead of really trusting these backstrap muscles to do all the work. So if you can change the workload from the backstrap muscles to the legs and a little bit of the core, now your back strap muscles don't have to work so hard. And again, now you can get better rib expansion, right? So you have to think about if you go from a sitting upright position forward, you have to shift your weight from your butt to your feet. If you're sitting in a chair and you're way too far back here, right, there's too much weight on your legs, or maybe your feet will dangle a little bit off the floor, and it's hard to transfer that weight to your feet. So you got to get at least like around half of your legs around there, right? If you get too much to the tip, there's so little base of support on your pelvis that when you do go forward, you're going to overactivate your muscles, including the back strap muscle. So I'm looking at that sweet spot around 50% of your legs. Go forward, shift the weight from your butt to your feet, breathe in, keep your spine neutral and your neck neutral. The nose and the chest are pointing together at the same time, and that's your movement that you want to do back from here. So as you do those exercises, think about those two little things, head positioning and weight shifting from your butt to your feet, and see if that helps you get a better rib mobility, better rib expansion, better diaphragm activation, okay? Now guys, if you like this video, please go ahead and hit like. If you like some of the videos I've already been seeing, please subscribe. I'm going to be doing more videos in the future. And if you have any questions about or criticism about this video, go ahead and comment below. I want to hear everything, okay? All right, thanks guys.